Today is the final day here at J5 Custom Vans, and we have a lot to wrap up in this video. Finishing up the front winch, getting the whole little plate thing mounted, getting the rear locker and stuff all connected and hooked up. What else is there? Connecting the brake lines, putting the tires back on. Oh yeah, and the rest of my list that John here hasn't even seen yet. Shh. I got some speaker boxes I need made. I have a roof vent beauty trim to be put around there. I don't know, guys. We got a lot to do today. Right behind the factory bumper here is a Warren Evo V12 12,000 pound winch. I think I got that correct. John has made a bracket and has it all mounted in here, reinforced the bottom. I'll show you guys that in a second. And the last part of this project is to mount this right there. But before we mount it, let's dive into this a little bit. We're gonna call this thingies and brackets, okay? Because I don't know what all this stuff is called. Down here on the bottom is a front tow hitch. It's just like a regular hitch you would put on any vehicle. John has made some alterations to it because above here is the huge bracket that the Warren winch is mounted to. So on the bottom here, he's made some support beams. This one here is just to raise it up off of this so he could get it at the right height. So all this stuff comes straight through the factory hole on the bumper. But he has reinforced all this stuff, making it super strong instead of just like tacking it on there and being done. This thing ain't gonna go nowhere. And off the front here, he's made these tubes that come out so this can mount past the bumper. But what he did was put a face on the front of it so when the bolt goes all the way through, it's rock solid so the bolt's not gonna bend or twist at all. Pretty wild. Pretty wild that all of this stuff fit behind the factory bumper. It looks like a regular bumper. And even from the bottom, it's like, okay, cool, you have a trailer hitch, that's pretty cool. If it wasn't for that, you would never notice. That inside of there is that giant thing. It's huge. It came in this massive box. That monstrosity is mounted behind that bumper. On the top here, you'll see this box, which was this one, which held the relays. Yeah. And also on the side here was the plug, so you could plug in the controller for the winch. John's disassembled all of this stuff because it just didn't quite fit in there. And it's awesome because all the electronics is away from everything. Everything is weather sealed in there, but he's moved all of the control stuff over here. But then you're probably wondering, how are you going to plug in the controller? Right there, look at this. He even put a cable on it so I don't lose the cap, because if anybody's done anything off-road, you know if you pull off anything like this and throw it to the side, you're gonna lose it. Right there is the plug. The winch itself comes with this controller. That's what I'll be plugging into that plug right there. But we'll dive into all this stuff on another video. But that's all there's left to do on here to finish this off, is to mount that plate. My van has undergone a lot of changes over the last year or two, and one change it never got was, well, adding a bit of a sound system. And being that I was a DJ my whole life, this just made sense. Bada boom. I bought myself a very little toy for the van. On this last stage of upgrades we're doing to the van, the subwoofer is not the important part, nor was the front winch, even though that thing's gonna come in super handy and save the day. Believe it or not, the biggest upgrade we did was this rear differential. It's out of an F350 pickup truck. It's gonna handle more weight and stronger, tougher. It's got a re-geared inside so it can turn my tires a little bit better, and also has a Yukon zip locker which runs on air. That's what John's wiring through right now, is the air line going to my dual ARB air compressor. So when I flick that switch, both of my tires will turn, kind of giving me half a 4x4, 2x4, whatever. Right. I am making a little bit of a parts run. Now, Mr. Cruzy, you're gonna have to get out of the seat, bro. Cruzy, we're gonna go on a little bit of a drive. We have to go pick up some very important parts. The hardest part about this entire project was actually waiting for parts or finding them. Special delivery, sir.
I'm very excited.
Now, let's fingers crossed it fits, and it's exactly what we need.
I'm a little worried about
We're gonna take apart this little plastic trim that came with my roof vent. And we're gonna replace this garbage thing with a nice big fancy one that Overland Interiors made me. I just haven't been able to put it up in here because it's gonna take some finessing and trimming. What's limiting the new trim going in are these blocks of wood, and they're just glued in there, and you can tell it's not attached to the top anymore, but it's still seriously glued to that side piece of foam. And I've been prying away at it, and I tried this before, and I didn't want to wreck this piece because J5 here did all this nice sealing in here, and I didn't want to wreck it. So there's a board on this side and a board on this side that needs to be removed. I get to put my bed back in our house. Oh, guys, I was so excited to sleep inside of our own van tonight. What's going on, Cruzy? We're moving back in, buddy. You're so cute with your little tongue. Moving day. That is disgusting. I'm ashamed to show you guys how nasty my fan is. So rude. It's been the first time in a long time I've seen this thing clear. I wiped around the inside there, and I'm just gonna screw this back on there. I got the roof vent trim all put in there. It took a little bit of finessing, but it's in there. I already did this one too, so grind out lever for swivel seat. Here's the down-firing 8-inch kicker sub that I bought for the front of the van. It sits nice and flat, so it's not like weirdly shaped. I can stand on it, Cruz can sit on it if he wants to. And under here is one 8-inch sub, and this is, I don't know what they called it, some kind of like it's like a port, but without having the big, huge port tube. I don't want to get into that. But anyway, I bought this to go in between the front seats. But in order to get it to fit, I had to cut. This handle here was probably about 2 inches longer. This is the lever for the swivel seat, so I can still move it. It still works. I just needed this little bit of extra space. Bada boom. And there you go. One sub right there. John's been over here working on the drive line. This one never made it through there. My drive shaft. We had to put another yoke on the back of that because this belongs to a Ford van and the new rear end belongs to a F350 2006, right?
That's right.
What I'm doing up here is just rearranging the rooftop a little bit because I have these cheaper knockoff version recovery boards that I bought from Amazon. I had 2 on one side and 2 on the other, but my A or B ones have a different pattern so they don't stack together. So I kept the A or B ones inside of my rooftop carrier, and I thought it would just make a little bit of an extra space, so I'm moving all 4 of these ones to that side and putting the A or Bs back on this side. The door lock on this door doesn't work, so I bought myself a new replacement. You got to get in there from this side, and they're fairly straightforward. I say that now, but there's a little clamp that holds it in. You pull the clamp off of there, and the lock just falls out the front. And here's where you get to grab the new one you bought. So the plastic thing goes to the far side. So when you're looking at this, it goes that way on the hook. Like in this way. See the orange over there? That's the other side of it. So this is it. This little clamp here has got to come off. So when you do this, you got to be very careful so you can see exactly how it goes back on there. So the one with the white on here is the same one I have in my driver's door. Fingers crossed. Yeah, boy. If you didn't catch that video where J5 Custom Vans here built a box that went into the inside of my door, instead of just building it on the outside, we took advantage of, look at this, that much more space. The entire length of my fingers, we've gained it. It's awesome. Used the entire cavity. What he did was ended up cutting out the metal that was already existing on the door, folded it back to make little brackets so we could screw into on the inside. I laid a piece of carpet on the back, and then from here, these boxes just get put in place. And if you're wondering where I picked up these door locks to repair mine, I got them from Lordco Auto Parts. They came 2 in a pack. Sucks though, because now I have 2 keys from my van instead of 1. It's always so fun at the end of like the list because it feels like things are just like all coming together at the same time. The shelving unit underneath here is to house my desktop, which gets wedged into this little section across the top here. And my desk goes across there if you haven't seen it. Wedged from here all the way across. And then my DJ controller sits under here, and that's the little compartment I keep my DJ headphones in. I got my desk cover finally on my DJ controller. Now it'll keep it nice and clean. Boom. Right in there. Off on the maiden voyage in the new vehicle with the new rear end. With the new rear differential, it feels like it's sitting a little taller in the back. Oh, does that ever feel good? But it feels good. Drove good on the highway, no vibrations, no nothing. The very last thing on the list for the J5 projects is just about done. I had no intentions on doing big projects on the van this summer. I wanted to be on the road as of the end of April. Bye-bye, home away from home. We will see you soon. And well, that didn't happen, and here we are. Last summer, that's all we did was work on the van. We went to Ontario and we worked. So this year, I was a little bit frustrated about doing all this stuff, but now that it's done, man, do I ever feel good about it. Well, you guys, that's a wrap for today's video. This was one incredibly long day. Yeah.
Well, I would probably wait until this lane is up and then pull up because you're going to be knocking all those signs.
So going to that one?
Yeah, I would go
okay.
to that one.
Perfect. Thanks for the heads up.
It'll save you.
Perfect, man.
Okay.
Thank you. The ferry guy just let me know that when I leave here, don't drive down this lane to get into the next one. Because in front of us here is a lot of little dangling safety signs and direction signs that I'm going to hit the whole way out. And looking forward, up there, there's more than just a few. They go all the way down this section. Anyway, I'm super stoked that we made it onto this ferry and didn't have to wait multiple hours to get on the next one. I'm excited to get back to the mainland. We're just going to stay at the oh-so classy Walmart in Tawasin, BC tonight. And then tomorrow, I'm off to see my daughter because it's her birthday in a few days. So we're just going to go hang out and stuff our face full of food and just have great conversation like we normally do. All right, everybody. Thanks for riding along with us today. Thank you to John at J5 Custom Vans for all the work that he put in on our home over the last stack of days. I am pretty thankful to have him around. I'll leave his links and stuff down below, and the links to any products that I have are going to be posted on the website at Van City Van Life. All right, guys. See you later. Whew. I know exactly what I'm thinking right there. These projects ain't done yet, bro. Projects on the van are never done. It's going to be a constant world of tinker and little baby upgrades as we move on down the road, like it's always been since the very beginning of our van life. I'm pretty excited to be back on the boat and heading over to see my little kiddo. Something about being on this ferry, no matter which direction you're going, it just feels so free. It's beautiful out on the water and it just has a whole different energy to it. Anyway, guys, support the channel, join us on Patreon and YouTube memberships, and keep us moving down the road. Until the next one, everybody, stay weird because normal just sucks. Alright, guys, peace out.